Hey, what is up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys my WWE 205 Live review for May 30th, 2017. And if you want to know why I'm late on getting the video up, please make sure to check out the last video that I just posted because that will explain everything. But let me just get right into it. So we had Corey Graves and Tom Phillips on commentary for this show. And we had the first match on the show. It was Noam Dar with Alicia Fox ringside versus Rich Swann with Sasha Banks ringside. And yes, Sasha Banks was on an episode of 205 Live. Now, I'm not trying to knock 205 Live or anything. Um, it's not my favorite show that they have every week, but it's not necessarily bad. They have good wrestling. But I just want you guys to think about this. Sasha Banks was somebody that they had brought in 2015 of July, or I think it was like July, June-ish. I think it was July, and she was supposed to be one of the people they brought her in as like one of the intricate parts of the Divas Revolution they had at the time, and she was the NXT Women's Champion, and she was a pretty big deal. Continuing down the line, she steals the show at WrestleMania 32, and that's probably the best match on that show. Um, Continuing, then she went on to become she's a former three-time Raw Women's Champion. She main evented Raw, which is something that the women haven't done since 2004 2005 time. I don't exactly know the exact date. Um, and then she was a pretty much making history. She was a part of the first ever women's Hell in a Cell match. She was the first woman to main event in WWE pay-per-view ever. She was a part of that. She was in the first ever women's Falls Count Anywhere match that also main evented Raw. Um, and then, she was in the only two ever Iron Woman matches in WWE history. And now she's on 205 Live, pretty much in this lame feud with Rich Swann and Noam Dar. How does that make any sense? Sasha Banks is really fallen, and I get they're trying to build to this heel turn that's coming eventually, but it's just kind of like, man, this is lame. I feel bad for Sasha Banks because she was literally on top of the world. She was probably, one of the best women wrestlers on the roster at one point, and she still is, but now she's just really fallen. It's just a shame. Um, but anyhow, continuing. I wouldn't be surprised if she ended up leaving WWE though. But Noam Dar and Alicia Fox talk about how they're going um how Sasha Banks and Rich Swann aren't a real couple like they are. They have nothing in common, and they say that they're gonna defeat Rich Swann and Sasha Banks at Extreme Rules because true love always prevails. That was pretty much the gist of the promo. So then Rich Swann and Sasha Banks come out, and um, Rich Swann and Sasha Banks say that they have a lot of things in common. They have a lot of the same fashion sense. They have a lot, um, eh, um, uh, they like a lot of the same music and stuff. Um, but the one thing they definitely know is that both of them are hot messes. And Alicia Fox trashes Sasha Banks' fashion sense. Sasha Banks trashes Alicia Fox' fashion sense. So they try to get into it, but the men have to break them up. So then we get the official match itself between Rich Swann and Noam Dar. And the match was pretty much an average match. And, it wasn't bad, wasn't great either. Mainly because of the storyline, but the match itself wasn't bad. Rich Swann dominates the first half of the matchup, but then Noam Dar hits a shin kick, which causes Swann to fall face first on the apron, and Noam Dar targets the injured shoulder of Rich Swann. But then when Rich Swann starts to make his comeback, he hits like a flip leg drop to the back of the neck of Noam Dar, and the referee is distracted by Sasha Banks, and this allows Alicia Fox to trip Rich Swann on the outside. So then Sasha Banks and Alicia Fox get into it, which was a pretty bad brawl, mainly because of Alicia Fox. And then Rich Swann goes for a splash in the corner, misses. Noam Dar hits an Enzuigiri to the head for the win. I don't know what the name of that move is, but that's what I'm just going to call it. And Rich Swann and Noam Dar wins the match. It makes sense because you want to build Noam Dar up Noam Dar and Alicia Fox up. You have to give them some momentum going into that next tag match. But quite frankly, who really gives a crap? That's just what I have to say right there. Then we have the next segment is Cedric Alexander gets interviewed, and he talks about how he's happy that he says that he hopes that Alicia Fox and Noam Dar get what's coming to him after everything that they've done to him. But he said that he's not here to focus on that. He's here to move forward because he had to sit out for 3 months due to an injury, and he said that it feels like a long time, but to him it felt like an eternity. So I'm happy that it looks like Cedric Alexander isn't going to be involved in the whole Alicia Fox storyline because it would make sense, but it's just something he just needs to move forward from that. I want to see them do something with Cedric Alexander, so I'm happy that he's not going to be involved with that. But then we had the next match. It was Cedric Alexander versus Corey Hollis. This was pretty much a squash match, but it wasn't bad. Corey Hollis did get some offense in, but Cedric Alexander, this showed his dominance, shows that he's ready to come back and be a part of the cruiserweight division, and he ends up winning with the what's it called? Lumbar check, where he hits the double knees to the spine. But overall, it was a decent little squash match here. Made Cedric Alexander look strong. And then Akira Tozawa had a video package, pretty much hyping him up. And then we had the next match. It was Mustafa Ali versus Drew Gulak. I like this match here. I like the storyline that they have going on between Drew Gulak and Mustafa Ali. Before Drew Gulak comes out doing his whole spiel about no high flying in 205 Live, and Mustafa Ali takes him out with a Kohira West Coast pop move, or Cena Senton, I should say, and he breaks the sign that says no high flying, and he pretty much dominates Drew Gulak throughout the beginning of the matchup. He hits a kick right off the apron. He hits a one of those flip dives, and he chops him on the outside, beats the crap out of him. But eventually, Drew Gulak is able to get the advantage when Mustafa Ali goes to go off the top rope, and Gulak pushes him off the top rope, and then he starts to target the injured knee of Mustafa Ali, and he starts to say, "You want to make a statement and do your high flying?" I like the trash talking he did, and then Mustafa Ali makes his comeback. He hits a rolling neck breaker in the ring, and then the finish is Mustafa Ali hits a crossbody. Drew Gulak reverses it into a roll-up and gets the victory. I thought the finish was actually pretty good because it makes sense. It kind of follows that whole storyline where high flying can cost you matches and stuff, and kind of follows Drew Gulak's whole thing. And, it made sense. I like the finish, and the match I thought was solid. And then Drew Gulak gets interviewed backstage and pretty much just says everything I just said. How he went out there and had a scientific wrestling match with Drew and Mustafa Ali. All he wanted to do was high flying, and then it ended up costing him the match. I like the promo. And then we had the main event segment. It was the tap heard around the world. This is when Austin Aries ended up making Neville tap out. He comes out and pretty much gloats about it. He shows footage of it. He shows it 3 times. One time in slow motion. The one time it showed it, though, the camera didn't even get to it, so I thought that was kind of lame. And Austin Aries says that everyone's celebrating that that's the first time that Neville's tapped out since joining the cruiserweight division, which it is a pretty big deal. But he says that it would have been, should not have been the first time because he would have made him tap out twice, but Neville's always been able to escape from it. He's not mad about the first time, he's mad about the second time. And then Neville comes out and pretty much talks about how that was a fluke and how Austin Aries has overstayed his welcome in 205 Live. And then he gets attacked from behind by TJP, but Austin Aries takes him out with a rolling elbow. Neville comes in and attacks Austin Aries, beats the crap out of him. TJP holds him back, and he wants Austin Aries to get on his knees and bow down to him. Aries refuses, so Neville kicks him in the knee, and then Aries tries to fight back, but Neville hits a enziguri to the head, and then he puts him into the Winds of Saturn, and TJP stomps on his leg, and Neville makes Aries pass out to end the show. I like the ending segment, and this does lead me to question who's going to win at Extreme Rules. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know who wins between Aries and Neville. And I actually kind of can't wait to see this match. It's the match I'm looking forward to the most at Extreme Rules. And it's the match that's the most unpredictable. Because Aries, you could make an argument for winning because it's gotten to the point where Neville needs to finally lose this Cruiserweight Championship. and Aries is the perfect guy to do so. They've had 3 matches. You can get one more match out of it. You know, you have Neville, though, who's my favorite champion right now in WWE, main roster-wise. And, he's been doing great with that great things with that championship. So it's kind of tough to say. I personally want to see Austin Aries win because he's the best wrestler in the cruiserweight division, and you can continue the feud between Aries and Neville. Because once this feud is over, what happens to the cruiserweight division? Because pretty much the cruiserweight division is being built off the back of Austin Aries and Neville, and that's kind of a shame. I like the fact that this is a submission match, though, but overall, I'll get into more of this when I do my Extreme Rules predictions. But overall, I thought 205 Live was actually a pretty good show. It helped up the Aries Neville feud. I like the stuff they did with Mustafa Ali and Drew Gulak. And I also like the stuff they did with Cedric Alexander. And the Noam Dar Witch Swan stuff was pretty much average, but it wasn't anything, I guess, terrible. It's not as bad as it usually is. Like, it gets bad, but you know what? It's been very simple booking lately. But I still don't really care for the way that Sasha Banks has been diminished. But before I end off this video, I want to do my star ratings for the matches. I want to try to do that every week. I'm going to post this down in the description box as well. For the Noam Dar Witch Swan match, I'm probably going to give that 2 stars. It was just an average match, nothing more. For the Cedric Alexander Corey Hollis match, I'm going to give that 1.25 star. It was a simple squash match, but I didn't mind it too much. And then for the Mustafa Ali Drew Gulak match, I'm going to give it a 3 star. Just a good basic wrestling match, like the storyline behind it. And I'm going to have these star ratings in the description box, but that's pretty much it, guys. Please make sure to subscribe to my CM Brothers and on the Talkinator channel, and please make sure to subscribe to this channel as well. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.